Have you ever wondered what it truly means to be winning at life once you hit 70? It's a question many of us quietly ask ourselves as the years go by, sometimes with a hint of worry, sometimes with a bit of hope. I've been there too, feeling the slow changes that come with age, noticing little things that suddenly seem harder than they used to be. Maybe it's climbing a flight of stairs without getting winded or remembering what you had for lunch yesterday. These everyday moments can feel like gentle reminders that time is moving, and sometimes it's easy to feel a little defeated by that. But here's the truth, it doesn't have to be that way. There are simple, gentle ways to stay strong, sharp, and joyful. Ways that don't demand a gym membership or complicated routines. I've discovered that by focusing on just a few key abilities, we can celebrate real victories every day. These aren't about medals or trophies, but about the quiet power of independence, connection, and laughter that keeps life vibrant. In this video, I'm going to share 6 simple things that, if you can still do them at 70, show you're winning life like a true champion. And the best part? These are easy habits to embrace and cherish. So, what's one small thing you still enjoy doing that makes you feel alive? You deserve to live well and keep shining every single day. If you are not subscribed, subscribe and activate the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. If you like the topic of this video, please comment 1. Now, let's begin. 1. Climbing stairs without gasping for air. It's funny how a simple set of stairs can tell you so much about your own body, isn't it? You see them every day. Maybe it's the flight that leads to your bedroom, the steps up to the front porch, or the ones tucked away in the corner of your favorite park. For years, you probably never thought twice about them. Stairs were just there, a part of the scenery, sometimes an afterthought. But as the years add up, those same stairs can suddenly become a quiet challenge, a private test that sneaks up on you, catching your breath and making you pause at the top, hand on the railing, heart thumping a little faster than you'd like. I remember the first time I noticed the difference. I was in my late 60s, visiting my daughter for a Sunday lunch. She lives in a lovely old townhouse, with creaky steps that wind their way up to the kitchen. We used to joke about those stairs, how they seemed to multiply overnight. That afternoon, as I made my way up, I realized I was moving a little slower. By the time I reached the top, I needed a moment to catch my breath. My granddaughter asked if I wanted some water, her eyes full of the gentle concern only a child can show. I laughed it off. Oh, these old knees. But inside, I felt a pang. Was this how it was going to be now? Was I losing the strength and breath that had always carried me through? It's a humbling realization, one that many of us eventually face. The truth is, our bodies do change. According to the American Heart Association, by the time we reach our 70s, our aerobic capacity can drop significantly, sometimes by as much as 40% compared to when we were in our 30s. That number can sound a little daunting, but it's not the end of the story. Not by a long shot. Because here's what I've come to believe. Climbing stairs isn't just a test, it's a celebration. Each time you take those steps without gasping for air, you're not just moving from one floor to another. You're proving that your heart, lungs, and muscles are still strong partners on this journey called life. In a world that often measures worth by youthful speed or athletic achievements, I think there's something quietly heroic about an older adult who can still climb a flight of stairs, steady and determined, taking pride in a task that younger folks take for granted. There's real science behind this. I once read about a study from Europe, where researchers had people over 60 climb 3 flights of stairs as quickly as they could. The magic number was 90 seconds. If you could do it in under a minute and a half, the data showed you were much less likely to develop heart problems in the next decade. Imagine that, something as ordinary as stairs turned into a crystal ball for your future health. No expensive equipment, no intimidating machines. Just you, your legs, your breath, and the next step up. I know it's not always easy. There are days when your joints creak a little louder, when your balance isn't what it used to be, when every step feels heavier than the last. On those days, it can be tempting to avoid the stairs altogether, to take the elevator, or just stay on one level. And you know what? That's perfectly okay. Listening to your body is important. But if you can still climb, even slowly, it's worth celebrating. Let me share another story. My neighbor, George, just turned 74. He's a retired firefighter, the kind of man who wears his years like a badge of honor. Silver hair, hands that show a lifetime of hard work. Every morning, rain or shine, George takes the stairs down from his third-floor apartment to the lobby, picks up his newspaper, and climbs back up, never missing a day. I once asked him why he didn't just move to a place with an elevator. He grinned and said, "These stairs are my daily check-in. As long as I can do them, I know I'm still in the game." I love that attitude. There's a quiet wisdom in using the ordinary to keep yourself strong. For George, those stairs aren't an obstacle. They're a reminder that he still has plenty of miles left in him. For me, and maybe for you too, they're a way to measure progress that truly matters. It's not about speed or style. It's about endurance, about breathing deeply at the top and feeling that slow, steady heartbeat remind you that you're alive. So, how can you make stairs your friend, not your foe? It starts with small steps, literally and figuratively. Take your time. Use the handrail if you need it. Focus on your breath. Inhale as you step up, exhale as you reach the top. Pay attention to your body, but don't be afraid to push just a little. If climbing stairs feels daunting now, try adding a few steps each day. Celebrate every flight you conquer, no matter how slow or shaky it feels. It's not about perfection. It's about persistence. Don't be discouraged if you need to pause or rest along the way. Remember, every step counts. Someday, you might surprise yourself, moving with ease and confidence. Other days, it might be harder. Both are victors because you showed up and tried. And if you're worried about your heart or breathing, talk to your doctor. They can help you find safe ways to build your strength, step by step. And here's something that might surprise you. Climbing stairs can also boost your mood. When you move your body, your brain releases endorphins, those wonderful, feel-good chemicals that help lift your spirits. There's a unique satisfaction that comes from reaching the top, turning around, and seeing where you started. It's a metaphor, really, for all the challenges you've faced and overcome. Life gives us plenty of mountains to climb, but sometimes it's the small hills, like the staircase in your own home, that make all the difference. If you're watching this and nodding along, maybe thinking of your daily stair routine, I want you to pause for a moment and give yourself credit. You are not just maintaining a habit, you are nurturing your independence, protecting your health, and proving to yourself, and maybe to a few doubters, that age is just a number. You are winning at life in a way that truly matters. So next time you find yourself at the foot of the stairs, don't dread the climb. See it as an opportunity. Let every step be a quiet act of strength, a promise to yourself that you're not done yet. Hold the railing, feel the solid wood beneath your feet, and know that with each flight you conquer, you're writing your own story of resilience and hope. And when you reach the top, whether it's your bedroom, the front porch, or just a favorite sunny spot, take a breath, smile to yourself, and remember, you are a true champion. 2. Remembering what you had for lunch yesterday. Isn't it amazing how food has a way of anchoring us to life's simplest pleasures? We often joke about how, as the years go by, we might walk into the kitchen and forget what we came for, or open the refrigerator and stare into it as if hoping the answer will leap out at us. But memory, especially when it comes to the everyday moments like what we had for lunch yesterday, holds more power than most of us realize. I'll never forget a particular afternoon a few years back. My son and I were sitting in my sunny little dining room, finishing a simple meal of homemade chicken salad and sweet iced tea. The conversation was easy, drifting from stories of his college days to memories of my childhood in the Midwest. Out of the blue, he asked, "Mom, what did you have for lunch yesterday?" I paused, smiled, and answered without a second thought, "Tuna sandwich, a handful of grapes, and a cup of tomato soup." He grinned and said, "See, you're sharper than you give yourself credit for." That moment stuck with me, not because of what I ate, but because of what it meant. Remembering what you had for lunch yesterday might sound trivial. After all, in a world that celebrates grand achievements and milestone moments, recalling the details of a meal seems almost laughably simple. But for those of us in our golden years, it's a quiet victory, a gentle affirmation that our minds are still working, connecting the dots of our lives from one day to the next. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 1 below to let me know that you are still here with me. Memory isn't just about recalling facts and figures. It's about keeping the fabric of our daily experiences intact. It's about remembering the laughter over soup with friends, the taste of a favorite sandwich, or the way the afternoon sunlight slanted across the tablecloth. When we hold on to these small moments, we hold on to ourselves, our identity, our joy, our ability to connect with others. Science backs this up. According to the Alzheimer's Association, about 1 in 9 adults over 65 experiences some form of memory impairment. That number is sobering. It's easy to let anxiety slip in, to wonder if a forgotten word or a missed appointment is a sign of something more serious. But here's the hopeful side: our brains are marvelously resilient. The more we engage them, by recalling, storytelling, or simply savoring the details of daily life, the stronger they remain. I've always found comfort in routine. Each morning, I write down what I plan to cook or eat that day. Some might call it a habit, but for me, it's a way to stay anchored, to give shape to the hours as they pass. And at the end of the day, looking back on a small note that says, "turkey wrap and potato salad," or "leftover lasagna," is a gentle reminder. I was present. I made choices. I lived another day filled with small joys. Memory is deeply tied to more than just food. It's about engagement, conversation, and connection. Picture a family gathering. Grandkids gathered around the table, asking about the foods you loved as a child, sharing their new favorite snacks, or recounting a funny moment from lunch at school. When you can join in, recalling not just what you ate yesterday but the stories that came with it, you're weaving yourself into the fabric of your family's shared memories. Those small recollections become bridges, drawing loved ones closer. There's something incredibly powerful about keeping your mind active through conversation and curiosity. My neighbor Martha has made a game of memory at every dinner. She challenges herself to remember not only what she had to eat the day before, but who she sat with, what music was playing, and one thing she learned that day. She swears by crossword puzzles and reads mystery novels with a pad of paper in hand, jotting down clues and characters. It's her secret recipe for keeping her mind spry, and it works. I've watched her recall details from months ago with a sparkle in her eye and an enthusiasm that's downright contagious. But let's be honest, there are days when memory slips. We all have them. I found myself opening the microwave to discover a cup of tea I reheated hours earlier, or searching for my reading glasses only to find them perched on my head. When these moments happen, it's easy to worry, to feel embarrassed, or even frustrated. But these are human moments. They're reminders that none of us are perfect, and that laughter is often the best medicine. What I've learned is that the best way to keep your memory strong is to keep your life full. Read a new book, try a new recipe, chat with a neighbor, or simply take a moment to savor your lunch and notice the flavors. Little things, like setting the table with your favorite napkin, or calling a friend to share what you cooked, help anchor your day and give your memory a little workout without feeling like a chore. Diet matters too. I've become a fan of brain foods, blueberries in my morning cereal, walnuts in a salad, leafy greens with dinner. Science tells us these foods can support brain health and, honestly, they make meals more enjoyable. It's another small way to invest in yourself and keep your mind firing on all cylinders. There's a certain peace that comes from being present at every meal. It's not just about nourishing the body, but also about feeding the soul. When you can remember yesterday's lunch, what you ate, who you shared it with, what was said. It's a sign that you're still deeply connected to life. These small victories are worth celebrating. So the next time someone asks, "What did you have for lunch yesterday?" don't brush off the question. Take a moment. Close your eyes if you need to. Picture the plate, the smell of the food, the laughter, or the quiet contentment that came with it. Savor that memory, no matter how ordinary it seems. You're not just recalling a meal, you're reminding yourself that every day holds its flavor and meaning. And if you find yourself forgetting now and then, be gentle with yourself. None of us remembers everything, but each of us holds a lifetime of moments that matter. Keep sharing your stories, keep inviting conversation, and keep delighting in the little details. That, more than anything, is the secret to staying sharp and feeling alive. Remember, your memory is a living thing. It grows with use, with joy, with connection. And every time you recall yesterday's lunch, you're not just winning at a small mental game. You're living your life as a true champion, one delicious memory at a time. 3. Balancing on one leg for 10 seconds. Have you ever found yourself standing in your kitchen, maybe waiting for the coffee to brew, and, just for fun, lifted one foot off the ground? Maybe it was a little test you set for yourself after reading an article, or perhaps you noticed a grandchild doing it and thought, why not give it a try? The truth is, balancing on one leg for 10 seconds seems almost laughably simple, like something we'd challenge each other to do as kids, giggling and swaying, arms out for balance. But these days, that simple little act is far more than child's play. It's a quiet yet powerful testament to the strength, coordination, and focus still alive inside us, even as the years roll on. I remember the first time I realized how much this mattered. It was during a routine checkup. My doctor, a kind gray-haired man with an easy smile, asked me to stand on one leg. 10 seconds, he said, almost casually, as if we were talking about holding our breath or reciting the alphabet. I laughed and gave it a go, arms raised a little like a circus performer. To my surprise, I wobbled more than I expected. 5 seconds in, my supporting foot started to tremble, and by 8, I touched down. I felt a mix of pride and surprise, and I'll admit, a little frustration. Don't worry, he said gently. Just the attempt is a sign you're staying active. And with a bit of practice, you'll get right to 10. His encouragement stuck with me. We don't often realize that balance is a muscle all its own. It's not just about standing still, it's about every muscle and joint, every neuron firing quietly to keep us steady. And here's the thing. Science says this seemingly small skill can predict so much about our future health. A study in the British Journal of Sports Medicine found that people in their 70s who could balance on one leg for 10 seconds were nearly 50% less likely to experience serious health issues in the coming years. Who would have thought such a small act could be such a powerful indicator? Balance, it turns out, is a kind of unsung hero in our lives. When we're young, it comes easily, almost thoughtlessly. We run, jump, skip, dance, rarely fearing a misstep. As we age, though, balance becomes more precious. It's not just about avoiding falls, though that's important. It's about confidence. It's about moving through the world without fear. It's about the freedom to reach a high shelf, garden in the backyard, play with grandchildren, or simply get dressed in the morning without bracing yourself against the bed. I've made balance a little ritual in my own life. Every morning, after brushing my teeth, I stand at the sink and try to balance on one foot while counting to 10. Some days, it's a breeze. I feel strong, my core engaged, my toes gripping the tile with certainty. Other days, I wobble or tip, grinning at my reflection. But I keep at it, because it's become more than just an exercise. It's a promise to myself, to keep challenging my body, to stay in touch with its abilities, to notice even the subtle changes and respond with care. Let me tell you about my friend, Helen. She's 78, full of stories and sass, and swears by her balance routine. Every afternoon, she puts on her favorite music, something lively, usually Motown, and practices standing on one leg, first the right, then the left. She told me she started after tripping on a garden hose and taking a tumble that, thankfully, ended with only a bruised ego. I decided then and there, she says, I want to be the grandma who dances at every wedding, not the one afraid to walk the aisle. Now, Helen boasts that she can stand like a flamingo for as long as any of her great-grandkids, and she can still outdance half of them, too. What I love about balance is that it's never too late to work on it. You don't need fancy equipment or a gym membership. All you need is a little space and a little patience. Start near a sturdy chair or countertop. Try lifting one foot just an inch off the ground and count, breathing deeply. With time, you'll notice your ankles, calves, and thighs growing stronger. Your core, those deep, stabilizing muscles, will start to wake up again. And your mind will sharpen, too, focusing on the present moment as your body finds its steady center. There's a quiet pride in making progress, no matter how slow. Maybe one day you hold for 4 seconds, the next for 6, until suddenly you're breezing past 10, even 12 or 15. It isn't about being perfect, it's about showing up, giving your body a chance to remember how strong and capable it still is. But balance isn't just physical. It has a way of seeping into the rest of life. When you work on your body's balance, you start to notice other kinds of steadiness, the emotional kind, the mental kind. There's something deeply reassuring in knowing you can catch yourself, literally and figuratively, when life wobbles. It's a reminder that you are still adaptable, still resilient, still moving forward no matter what. When I see someone my age or older standing calmly on one foot, whether it's in the park, at a yoga class, or even in their kitchen, I feel a surge of admiration. It's such a small, quiet thing, but it's full of meaning. It says, I'm still here. I'm still in control of my body. I'm still up for a challenge. It's a small act, yes, but one packed with power and pride. So, if you haven't tried it in a while, I encourage you, give it a shot. Stand tall, lift one foot, and count to 10. If you wobble, laugh it off. Every attempt makes you stronger. If you make it to 10, celebrate. If not, try again tomorrow. Remember, it's not about showing off. It's about showing up for yourself. Every second you hold your balance is a second of victory, a gentle, persistent refusal to let age define your abilities. Balancing on one leg for 10 seconds may sound simple, but in truth, it's a daily declaration that your strength, your focus, and your hope for the future are still very much alive. And in this beautiful chapter of life, isn't that something worth celebrating? 4. Finding joy in hearty laughter. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 2 below to let me know that you are still here with me. There's a certain magic in the sound of laughter that fills a room, isn't there? The kind of laughter that bubbles up unexpectedly and takes over your whole body, making your eyes crinkle and your sides ache. As the years pass, I find myself treasuring these moments more than ever, not just because they bring me joy, but because they remind me that the spirit can stay young, even as the body changes. You might think that laughter is a simple thing, something that just happens when the punchline of a joke lands perfectly or when an old friend shares an embarrassing story. But I've come to see it as one of life's greatest gifts, especially as we grow older. Laughter is proof that, even after weathering life's storms, loss, worry, aches, and all, there's still a spark inside us that refuses to go out. I remember sitting with my oldest friend, Doris, on her porch last summer. We'd been reminiscing about the days when our children were young and life was a whirlwind of school projects, soccer games, and burnt casseroles. Doris has this contagious laugh, high-pitched and loud, the kind that makes you want to laugh along even if you've missed the joke. That afternoon, as we recalled a particularly disastrous family vacation involving a lost suitcase and a car with no brakes, we laughed so hard that tears streamed down our cheeks. For a few minutes, it was as if we were back in our 30s, two young moms giggling about the madness of it all. Those are the moments I hold close, the kind that make you forget your age, your worries, your creaky knees. There's real power in laughter. Scientists have shown that laughter reduces the level of stress hormones in our bodies. When you let out a big, hearty laugh, your body releases endorphins, those wonderful, feel-good chemicals that can ease pain and lift your mood. It's almost as if laughter is nature's way of giving us a free little tune-up. And it's not just about feeling good for a moment. Laughter strengthens our immune system, improves circulation, and even helps with pain tolerance. I've read that people who laugh often recover faster from illness, and, perhaps even more importantly, bounce back quicker from the emotional slings and arrows that life can throw at us. There's something deeply healing about laughter, something that can't be bottled or prescribed. But perhaps the greatest gift of laughter is connection. Have you ever noticed how laughter brings people together, breaking down walls and smoothing over misunderstandings? It's a bridge that crosses generations. I think of the countless times my grandchildren have had me in stitches with their silly faces and wild stories. No matter the age gap, we all understand the universal language of laughter. A few months ago, my granddaughter, Ellie, decided to teach me the latest dance craze she'd seen on the internet. I could barely keep up with the steps, let alone the music. She giggled uncontrollably as I spun in the wrong direction or got my arms tangled up. Before I knew it, I was laughing so hard I could barely breathe, and Ellie declared that I was the funniest grandma ever. That moment, a memory made out of laughter, was worth more than any birthday card or bouquet. Of course, life isn't always a comedy show. There are days when laughter seems far away, when worries loom, and the world feels heavy. I've lived through seasons of loss, saying goodbye to dear friends, watching as my reflection changed with time. But even then, laughter finds a way in. Sometimes it sneaks up on you, disguised as a silly memory or a funny television show. Sometimes you have to seek it out, calling an old friend just to swap stories or watching a classic comedy from years gone by. In those tough moments, I remind myself that laughter isn't about ignoring pain or pretending life is perfect. It's about resilience. It's about saying, yes, things are hard, but my heart still knows how to feel light. Research from Stanford University has shown that the ability to laugh in difficult times is linked to emotional strength and adaptability. Laughter doesn't erase sorrow, but it helps soften its edges, making life's burdens a little easier to bear. If I could give one piece of advice to anyone my age or older, it would be this: don't wait for laughter to find you. Seek it out. Watch a favorite old movie, call a friend who always lifts your spirits, and join a community group where stories are shared and smiles come easily. I've found laughter in the most unexpected places: a neighbor's dry sense of humor, a funny sign at the grocery store, a memory that suddenly resurfaces from decades past. And don't be afraid to laugh at yourself. I've had my fair share of senior moments, misplaced glasses, words that slip my mind, missed appointments. Instead of feeling embarrassed, I try to see the humor in these slip-ups. After all, a good laugh at my own expense keeps me humble and reminds me not to take life too seriously. My late husband, Jack, used to say that laughter was his secret to a happy marriage. He'd always find a way to crack a joke, even during arguments or stressful days. Now, all these years later, it's his laughter I remember most, echoing through the house, making the ordinary feel extraordinary. So, what brings you a hearty laugh these days? Maybe it's a favorite TV show, an old friend's phone call, or even your reflection in the mirror as you practice a new dance step. Maybe it's the simple joy of telling a story that gets everyone around the table roaring. Hold on to those moments. Make room for them. Let laughter be as essential as your morning coffee or your afternoon walk. There's a saying that goes, "We don't stop laughing because we grow old. We grow old because we stop laughing." I believe that with all my heart. Laughter keeps the soul supple, the mind bright, and the days a little sweeter. In a world that sometimes feels too serious, let's be the ones who choose to laugh, who fill the air with joy, and who remind everyone around us that there's always something worth smiling about. In the end, it's the laughter, the deep, hearty, unfiltered kind that proves we're truly alive. It's the sound of hope, resilience, and a heart that still finds delight in the world. So laugh loudly, laugh often, and never let anyone tell you that it's just for the young. Your laughter is a gift, not only to yourself but to everyone lucky enough to hear it. 5. Maintaining friendships and social connections. As the years unfold, one truth becomes clear: life is richer when shared. I've learned that maintaining friendships and nurturing social connections isn't just a pleasant pastime. It's a vital ingredient for health, happiness, and longevity. When we reach our 60s, 70s, and beyond, the ties we hold on to become anchors in a sometimes changing world. They remind us who we are, where we come from, and that we're never truly alone. I still remember the day I reconnected with an old friend from my neighborhood, someone I hadn't seen in years. We met for coffee at our favorite local cafe, a cozy spot filled with the aroma of freshly brewed coffee and the gentle hum of conversation. As soon as we sat down, it was like no time had passed at all. We talked about our grandchildren, shared memories of summer barbecues, and laughed over shared experiences that only we could understand. That afternoon wasn't just a catch-up. It was a rekindling of a bond that nourished both our spirits. Friendships like these are more than social niceties. According to the National Institute on Aging, nearly 30% of adults over 70 report feeling significant loneliness, a statistic that highlights just how important connection truly is. Loneliness isn't just a feeling. It can impact physical health, mental sharpness, and overall well-being. That's why staying connected matters so much. Social bonds stimulate our minds and hearts. They keep us engaged and give us purpose. When you call a friend just to chat, join a book club, or attend a local event, you're giving yourself a boost that goes far beyond mere conversation. Studies have shown that people with strong social networks live longer and enjoy better mental health. These connections can lower stress, improve cognitive function, and even reduce the risk of chronic illnesses. It's not always easy to maintain these relationships as life changes. Friends move away, health issues arise, and schedules become busier. But the effort is worth every moment. I know a wonderful woman named Linda who lives just down the street. Despite arthritis that sometimes slows her down, she makes it a point to send cards, make phone calls, and invite friends over for afternoon tea. She told me once, "My friendships are my lifeline. They keep me smiling on days I might otherwise feel blue." Technology has also been a blessing in keeping us connected. Video calls, social media, and even simple texts can bridge distances. I've had the joy of seeing the faces of friends and family across the country without leaving my living room. It's not the same as a hug, of course, but it's a reminder that love and friendship don't fade with miles. But perhaps the most beautiful thing about friendships in later life is the depth they carry. They aren't just about surface chatter. They're about shared history, trust, and mutual support. Friends become family, standing by us through health scares, celebrating milestones, and comforting us in grief. When I think about my circle, I realize how much we lean on each other, not just physically, but emotionally. I encourage everyone watching to nurture those friendships, new and old. Pick up the phone, write a letter, invite someone for coffee, or join a community group. Even small gestures matter. A smile, a kind word, or a listening ear can make a world of difference. Sometimes, just showing up is the most powerful thing you can do. I also want to remind you that it's never too late to make new friends. Our lives can surprise us with opportunities for connection at any age. Community centers, hobby groups, volunteer organizations, and local classes offer spaces to meet others who share your interests. I took a painting class last year and was delighted to meet a lively group of seniors who have become some of my closest companions. Maintaining friendships and social ties is a gift you give yourself. It's a daily choice to embrace life with open arms and an open heart. It keeps your mind curious, your emotions vibrant, and your days filled with meaning. As one wise friend once told me, no matter how old we get, it's our connections that keep us young. So, reach out today. Share a laugh, reminisce, and build new memories. Your friendships are a treasure, a source of joy and strength that will carry you forward. Remember, you are never alone, and together, we make this journey beautiful. 6. Cooking for yourself and maintaining independence. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 3 below to let me know that you are still here with me. There's something deeply satisfying about walking into your kitchen, opening the pantry, and knowing you have everything you need to prepare a meal just the way you like it. Cooking for yourself is more than just putting food on the table. It's a powerful statement of independence, creativity, and care. For many of us, as we grow older, that sense of control over what we eat, how we eat, and when we eat becomes a cornerstone of our well-being. I recall a time when I decided to start cooking for myself more regularly. After years of relying on family or takeout, I wanted to reclaim that daily ritual. At first, it felt a bit daunting. Grocery shopping, chopping vegetables, and managing recipes felt like a lot. But as I took it step by step, I discovered that cooking was also a form of meditation. The rhythm of stirring a pot, the aroma of garlic sizzling in olive oil, the colors of fresh vegetables coming together. It all grounded me in the present moment and reminded me of the joy in creating. Preparing your meals means you're making choices that suit your body's needs. It's about nourishing yourself with fresh ingredients and balanced portions, something that prepackaged or restaurant food can rarely match. Studies have shown that seniors who cook for themselves tend to have healthier diets and lower risks of chronic diseases like diabetes and heart conditions. Cooking becomes a daily act of kindness toward your health. But beyond the health benefits, cooking holds emotional and social value. It connects us to memories and traditions. Perhaps it's your grandmother's famous chicken soup or the special salad you made every summer with friends. Cooking allows us to express creativity, to experiment with flavors and textures, and to share the fruits of our labor with those we love. I remember hosting a small dinner for a few neighbors a while back. We laughed over homemade bread and freshly picked salad greens, swapping stories about our childhood kitchens and the recipes that have traveled through generations. In those moments, cooking was more than food. It was a connection, a thread weaving our lives together. Maintaining the ability to cook also bolsters your independence. Being able to stand at the stove, chop vegetables, and prepare meals means you don't have to rely heavily on others for basic needs. It empowers you to live on your terms, making decisions that suit your lifestyle and preferences. This autonomy is vital to maintaining dignity and confidence as we age. Of course, safety is paramount. It's wise to adapt your kitchen and cooking habits to suit your changing needs, using tools that are easy to handle, keeping your workspace organized, and taking breaks as needed. Many seniors find joy in learning new cooking techniques or trying out kitchen gadgets designed to make meal prep easier and safer. Cooking for yourself doesn't mean you have to prepare elaborate meals every day. Simple, wholesome dishes can be just as satisfying and nutritious. I've grown fond of one-pot recipes, easy to make, flavorful, and with minimal cleanup. Even a well-made sandwich or a hearty salad can be a celebration of good food and self-care. If you ever feel overwhelmed, remember that cooking can be a shared experience. Invite a friend to cook together, join a community cooking class, or swap recipes by phone or online. These activities add a social dimension to meal preparation and make it even more enjoyable. Most importantly, cooking for yourself nurtures your soul. It reminds you that you're capable, creative, and worthy of care. It's a daily practice of love for your body, your tastes, and your life. So next time you step into the kitchen, take a moment to appreciate the power in your hands. The power to nourish, to create, and to sustain your independence. With every meal you prepare, you're not just cooking food. You're cooking up a life filled with choice, joy, and freedom. And that, truly, is something to savor. As we come to the end of this journey together, take a moment to reflect on all the simple yet powerful ways you're winning at life. Whether it's climbing those stairs without losing your breath, recalling the details of yesterday's lunch, balancing on one leg with confidence, sharing a hearty laugh, nurturing your friendships, or cooking a meal with love and care, each of these acts tells a story. They speak of resilience, independence, and joy. They remind us that age is not a barrier but a chapter filled with its victories. I want you to know that these small wins are monumental. They're proof that your spirit remains vibrant, your mind sharp, and your heart full. Life after 65, 70, and beyond can be rich with connection, purpose, and delight. It's about cherishing every moment, embracing your strengths, and continuing to move forward with grace and courage. You've earned the right to live fully, to laugh loudly, to stand tall, to connect deeply, and to savor every meal you prepare. Remember, it's not about perfection but persistence, about celebrating progress no matter how small, and about honoring the incredible journey you're on. So keep climbing, keep remembering, keep balancing, keep laughing, keep loving, and keep cooking. Because you deserve a life filled with happiness, health, and independence. And every step you take is a testament to your true champion spirit. Thank you for sharing this time with me. Here's to many more moments of joy ahead.